I've been trying to figure out what to do for my very first video for a while now, but now that Breath of the Wild is soon to grace our presence with its new appearance at E3 and everything, it only feels right that I would do The Legend of Zelda. There are many Zelda games, but I decided to do one of my all-time favorites for my very first video, and that would be The Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask. Originally released on the Nintendo 64 and later ports coming to platforms like the Nintendo GameCube, Wii, and even a souped-up and beautiful 3DS remake, this game has garnered quite a following compared to the other Zelda games, rivaling even the prequel to this game, The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, but that game can be saved for another time. Now that the basic information is out of the way, I would like to discuss something that's not in the actual game. But of course, I'm talking about the manga adaptation, which shares the same name as the game, of course, specifically the end of the story, if you don't mind, as I'm positive that most of the viewers watching this right now already know how the main game on the Nintendo 64 already ends. I am talking about a super duper special bonus chapter that at the very end of the book is simply called Side Story. In this chapter it tells of a time before Majora's Mask. Hell, even further back than Ocarina of Time. This chapter tells of a wandering warrior who we will simply call Deity for all simplifying purposes, and the one and only Majora. Now, we all know who Majora is, an evil entity that had its essence sealed away in a dark mask. But why? That's exactly what this chapter explains. Without further ado, let the chapter begin. Our story begins with a dragon, living alone in a deserted part of Termina. This dragon being the one and only Majora. One day, Majora sensed another living being approaching, which was a surprise to him as he hadn't seen another one in many years. It was a young man, a traveler to be exact. The young man said he would be resting there for a little while and that he wouldn't be long. To which Majora started questioning the man. He says the traveler must have only come to steal the outer armor of his body, because of the rumor that it can grant wishes. The man denies such claims and asks for an explanation on the matter. Majora continues, saying that many have come and lied, trying to seek companionship with him in order to backstab him. Many people, knights, military men, many people of all kinds. Also they could kill Majora to salvage his armor, to give them power and grant their dear wishes they have, and they were overflowed with greed. Majora ended up killing all of them to protect himself. In honor of Deity's unknowing of the situation, Majora granted him a chance at one wish, which he denies. Deity then reveals that the only reason he came to that land is that he could sense a weird energy flowing all around. Majora is taken aback by this claim and realizes how special the traveler just may be. Deity begins to question how long Majora has been there, claiming he must have been there for tens of thousands of years, just sitting alone. Deity feels sad for that monster, which is met with negative attention, saying that he doesn't like pity because he is a fearsome man-eater. Deity shows him that there's nobody left to eat, and Majora starts questioning his life, wondering why he's stuck in a place like that. Majora is very lonely. He wants to die, and finally move on with the rest of the world and all the people he made suffer. All Deity can do is play Majora a song. Majora danced for 3 whole days and 3 whole nights. On the 4th morning, Majora finally was put to rest, and died, leaving behind only his armor. Deity carved a mask out of the armor and sealed all that was left of Majora's power inside of it, hopefully letting Majora rest in peace forever. And that's where the chapter ends. In the end, it turns out Majora was nothing more than another sad and broken spirit, very similar to Darmani the Goron and Mikau the Zora, both of which Link helped find peace and pass on, Majora, who was left alone for thousands of years, still withheld some of his malice towards the world from before he was sealed, and used Skull Kid's similar loneliness as a way to have him do his bidding. However, one more question still lies. Just how exactly did the fierce Deity mask come to be? Honestly, it's likely we will never know this answer, but it'd be nice for Mr. Nintendi or the writers of the manga to come back and give us some closure to this eventually. However, I'd love to hear some of your guys' theories in the comments below, so please don't hesitate to leave them. It'd be really nice to hear. Thank you for watching my first video. This may have gone on a bit longer or maybe even a bit shorter than I originally anticipated, but I think this turned out pretty well in the end for my first video. If you liked the video, then please don't hesitate to like and subscribe. And I would love to hear some feedback. I would love to hear what I can improve on, anything really. And I will see you again next time.